Joining us now, of course, is Maui County Mayor Michael Victorino joining us. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day.
Hello and good morning. Nice to see you. And thank you for everything you and KITV does to inform our community of all the challenges and now what I call the greater reopening aspect of our community.
Very important for everyone. I wanted to start first to get an assessment of your cases there. Give us an overview. How's it going? Are there still active cases and how are they doing?
Well, we have, I think, 9 active cases that are in the quarantine stages, and they're doing well. I've not heard of anybody that's in life-threatening situation at this point, and we're very thankful for that. Of the 115 cases here on Maui, 93 have been released already. The rest are on their final stages of quarantine. So we're hoping that over the next week or so, if we have no new cases, we could be isolation-free also. I think there's still one in the hospital, but he's doing well, and I think we'll be getting him out soon. You know, with the good Lord's prayers and everyone praying for him, we'll have a full recovery.
Yeah, that's so important. And, you know, we started in the beginning having a lot of these issues with testing, but I know you were very aggressive in getting your people tested, making sure that we have a sense of how widespread this is in the community. How is it now? Are you still very aggressive with the testing events in the clinic?
We are actually ramping it up again. We've had a little lull in the testing because they wanted to do other areas, and so I've allowed Dr. Miskovich to do some of the other areas. But we have our clinics throughout the county of Maui and the hospital who have ramped up their testing also. So we're still doing testing. And we're now using the antibody. We have the rapid test also, but we're saving those tests for first responders and others that can be exposed in a moment's time and that we need to have them protected all the time. And so at this point, our reported cases are 0, and we're very thankful, but that doesn't mean we sit on our laurels and say it's okay. Really, we've got to be vigilant and pay attention and make sure we don't have a resurgence anywhere here in Maui County,
Yes.
Even in the state for that matter, anywhere in the state.
Yeah, I know here we're talking about a potential new cluster in public housing and kind of these neighborhoods that remain very invisible. Are you seeing that? I know you were testing the homeless communities there, the encampments, any of that concern there?
Well, the concern was there, but the testing has proven very, very positive. No cases in that respect. And so we're very pleased in that. But we're trying to be vigilant. We're working to make sure, Annalisa, that it doesn't happen somewhere else. And so it's not only the homeless, not only the poor, it's anywhere. It can break out anywhere in our community. So we've got to be vigilant.
Mm-hmm. And now let's turn to the reopening, because, you know, this is where everyone is really kind of focused on. They're excited. Let's start with retail, because today Oahu's opening their retail, but you've been open already for a few days. How is it going?
We started Monday, and it started slow as I expected. Many retail outlets were still trying to figure out spacing, sanitation, also how their employees are going to intermix with the customers coming in, making sure that customers have masks. Some stores kept some available, and so when someone walked in or didn't have a mask, you were able to be given one. But all the stores are saying, no, if you don't have a mask, you're not allowed in. The challenge I see there is sometimes people who have pre-existing health issues who cannot use masks, respiratory and others, and children under 5. There's still some confusion out there, but we're working through it. It's like everything else. You just keep working at it. This is the new norm. We've got to get used to it, Annalisa. Every day, it's going to be a part of our life. So let's start getting used to it as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. I did talk to some Maui businesses that are concerned that because there's no visitors coming in still, they don't find it worth it to open because a lot of their business is done with visitors. How are you easing their concerns because they don't feel like they can wait longer than a month or so from now?
Well, we're trying to encourage our local residents to support these businesses like they've never done before. Even our farmers who at one point were really challenged because the hotels all closed down and all their produce wasn't being sold to the hotels, there was no business. So we instituted a program called the Farmers Aid Act. And what that did is we'd buy produce and we would distribute it to our unemployed and our needy throughout the county of Maui. And we've done, I'd say 8, 9 food drives and given over 3/4 of a million pounds of food out. And, it's been very successful. But I'm encouraging our local population our residents to start shopping at some of these stores. Give them a chance to reopen also, because with their business, and you'll find a lot of good products in there, but it's not only for our visitors, it's for them too. But we were reluctant because A, parking was a problem, B, crowds were a problem, and sometimes pricing was a problem. But I think the businesses that are open now, they're doing much better because they've gotten the new norm. Our residents are important.
Mm-hmm. Is there any kind of relief program for them? A lot of them may not qualify for PPP or some of these federal aid loans. What is the county doing to kind of fill that gap?
Well, we've had our two programs. We've had our help program, which helps the individuals who are unemployed right now that have lost their job and then are able to get some help in the area for rentals, food, car payments, whatever. They are getting subsidized and helping them. And also, hopefully, the unemployment issue will be taken care of in not too distant future. So with all of that being said, there are programs that we have here in Maui County to help them. We have the Maui Chamber's micro business system or loan system, where, like other counties, we have been loaning money out to them, helping them to survive these times, so that as our visitors and our residents start working again and can go to their stores and buy their products, we have some subsidies to help them and their employees from going on to the unemployment rolls.
Yeah, and you will have an additional $67 or so million from the federal CARES Act. And how do you plan on using that money? What is your main focus for a lot of that funding?
Well, there's a number of areas. So one is just what we spoke of, helping those that are being impacted directly from this pandemic, those who have lost their jobs. We've got to have programs, as I just said, like our help program, Lau Lima, and all the different programs we have to make sure they are taken care of for now until their hotels or until their jobs are reclassified and reopened. In the meantime, also our homeless, our disadvantaged, our elderly, all these programs are having pots of money come in, and we're trying to, emphasize and prioritize where we need this money spent. The 67 million is a godsend. I'll say that. It is a big help for our county. And so we're now putting a program together. We want the council to advise us and tell us what they'd like to see, and we'll try to incorporate all of that. And we're working in tandem to make sure that when we get this money, it gets to the people that needs the help the most. And again, also, it has to go in this year's budget, this year's fiscal budget, but we are, as a grant revenue, we are giving up to December 30th, 2020 to spend it. So we are ramping up programs, we're adding programs, we're looking for keiki care and other areas where we know people are going to be in dire need, and we're going to step up to the plate and help them.
Mm-hmm. And I know there's been a lot of discussion. Obviously, Maui is a tourist destination, and when tourism does resume, they want more testing of arrivals. There's talk of, these different types of systems that they will require on-site testing of anyone arriving in Maui. Or just, again, maybe potential enforcement of the quarantine still. That, I don't know, are you supporting extending it? Other mayors have talked about extending it, but what is your feeling, I guess, in general about reopening to tourism and visitors?
Until we have something that is safe and make sure that those visitors coming in are not infectious, I think this is something that is really my priority. Protecting our residents, keeping them healthy, and having visitors come in that are not healthy, that could spread not only COVID-19, but anything else, wouldn't make good sense. So we're working step by step, methodically and systematically to make sure all of these protective areas are put in place. Checks at the airport, or even, like I agree with Lieutenant Governor Josh Green, let's do it before they even leave their area of residence. Let's make sure they're there before they get on a plane, they've been tested, they've been cleared, and then come to Hawaii, because they want to be healthy when they get here, and we want them healthy. So let's work in all of this. And I think over the next couple of months, probably by the end of next month, we'll have programs in place. The antibody test. You know that we've made many advantages, but until we get a vaccine, I will not just let everything go to pot. We've worked too hard to keep our community healthy, and I want to continue to make sure they stay healthy in any way I can.
What do you think of that one key initiative, the one where hotels will be required to have these one access keys? Is that something you support to keep the tourists on quarantine because they've been violating, as you know?
Yes, I agree that there's got to be a methodology to keep these tourists from running amok. Here in Maui County, in the last 2.5 weeks, we've sent almost 24 people back that have acted up, not followed the quarantine rules, not followed the guidelines that have been set by the state and the county. We've given them a choice, and this is the choice. You can have a nice orange uniform and get 3 square meals a day for 1 year. You can be here in Hawaii. You have these little things called bars in front of you. Sorry, you just cannot go anywhere you want. And it'll cost you $5,000, but that's a cheap vacation. Or get back on a plane and go home. And generally, option 2 has been the selection.
Yeah, I could see that. Finally, I know you have some great news for the weekend for people. That was the biggest news I heard about the beaches opening to passive recreation. How exciting is that? The first county, I think, to do that, correct?
No, Kauai is also doing
Oh,
that on
yes,
a trial
Hawaii,
basis.
yes.
Yes, we're both doing it on a trial basis. We trust our people. We believe the people of Maui County, just like Kauai, they know how to adhere to our rules and our policies. However, if they don't, we can pull it back and go back to where we were. So it's really their choice. It's their kuleana, I call it. It's their opportunity. But like a lot of counties too, for example, we have now canceled our county fair. It'll be our 97th annual county fair. Because why? We cannot ensure social distancing. We cannot ensure that people will abide. And even if you made rules, how enforceable when you get 30 or 40,000 people on a weekend walking around on every day in an area that is so confined that anyone could spread it real quickly in something like that, and then try to do the contact tracing? Oh, it'd be a nightmare. So we had to cancel events that really were a part of our community. But I think the public understands. We're doing it systematically, as I mentioned, methodically, and we want to make sure everyone in Maui County stays healthy, stays safe, and most importantly, we are Maui strong. We will come out together better for this.
Are you confident people will adhere to your guidelines now that the beaches are open, though?
I hope so. I'm relatively positive in what they're going to be doing. And our team has looked into it, and I've got a great team that put all these rules in place with health experts and others that came to the forefront to say, hey, we need to look at this, we need to look at that. And I'm really excited that this will be an opportunity for the community to get some new normalcy, if you want to use that term. I guess that's the term I use now, the new normalcy. We're going to have a new norm. We learned after 9/11 how to travel. Now, after COVID-19, we'll learn how to live in a different world, but yet the world maybe in a better way. And maybe the good Lord has blessed us with this opportunity to step back, to see what's going on. Also, I want to mention that religious organizations, we're going to have next weekend starting, we're looking at putting them back with drive-in services. You can't leave your car. You and your family can stay in a car, and they can televise or put it on radio or on loudspeakers for the next couple of weeks to give the religious community an opportunity to slowly come back also. We need spiritual guidance. We need spiritual renourishment, like everything else. When we put it as a complete package, our community and this state of Hawaii, which has done very well, let me tell you, compared to the other states, we are in very good shape. But we need to stay there. And we ask everyone who's listening, whether you're here from Maui County or any other county throughout the state, follow the policies and rules that have been set. And Annalisa, you and our news networks throughout the state have done a terrific job. I want to say mahalo to you, because the information you've been able to share, not only from me, other mayors and other officials, has been very useful to the public. I can tell you, people look forward to the 4 o'clock news or the 4 o'clock press conference I give, and your news at 5 and 6 reporting what we and other mayors have said.
Well, Mayor, I appreciate you being available to answer a lot of these questions. I did have some questions on our Facebook asking about, restaurants.
That will be our
I
next
guess
step.
you
And
said
we're,
that's what people need too.
yes, I agree. Well, right now they're very fortunate. They can take out. And now alcohol in Maui County is also available for takeout, from restaurants. So that's going to help. And, the restaurants, we got to really be meticulous. First of all, how we make social distancing. When people come in, they'll be wearing their masks. I think the mayor of Honolulu and I have talked, and other mayors have talked. They're going to wear their masks when they come in, but when they sit down to eat, obviously they got to take the mask off. And how many germs can be spread when you're sitting there, even with 6 feet distancing? So it's something of a little bigger challenge, not like retail. You can come in, grab what you need, walk out, right? This is some time you want to spend with family or friends. So we're going to work on these rules to make sure that they're accommodating to everyone, but more importantly, we'll protect everyone that's in that facility or in it. Outdoor, many of our restaurants here in Maui County don't have outdoor facilities, so that might make it different as what Honolulu is doing, Oahu. But we're working hard. We'll work together. And again, we'll come out of this stronger than we went in with a new normal.
For you. No date yet for you. No date announced.
I'm holding back on a date. I will be announcing soon, but I don't want to give you a date yet because that might be premature.
Premature. And of course, the salons, like I was talking to Brian earlier about how he needed a haircut too. And a lot of us, I need one too.
Well, that's going to come out in the next few days. We have a definitive date in that one. That's a little easier, and the barriers, the social distancing, every other chair, not more than 10 in the salon, or depending on your spacing. So we're going to be announcing that probably by Monday. So those who are waiting, especially my young lady at home, she's been really telling me, Dad, look at my hair. Dad, look at my hair. And I'm good with that. She's a beautiful lady. I don't care what. Her hair does not deter me from loving her the way I love her every day.
Oh, and like I said, your hair looks okay. You don't need a man bun anytime soon.
Well, this hair, I keep it as short as possible. And I've been fortunate. I have a friend that does it out of their garage. It's not a business.
That's how we have to do it.
But, I'm thankful. And Annalisa, I want the people throughout the state and the county of Maui to understand two things. We are working hard together, and we are responsible for our actions. So it is our kuleana to make this recovery as seamless and as quickly as possible, with health and safety as the priority.
Well, I appreciate you and your time and what you're doing for our communities out on Maui County and keeping us all safe. It's good news that we're slowly reopening with very little cases, no cases yesterday. So let's keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Annalisa, and God bless you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and aloha to everyone from Maui County and the entire state.
Okay, mahalo to you. Aloha. Don't go away. Good morning, Hawaii. We'll be right back.